Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. I am Andi Catur Novanto from Group 2 in this method of teaching subject. So in this time I would like to present about the material of chapter 2 methodical history of language teaching Brown's book 2000. Method. What is a method? Edward's concept of method was the second of three hierarchical elements, namely approach, method, and technique. An approach, according to Anthony, was a set of assumptions dealing with the nature of language, learning, and teaching. Metode juga digambarkan sebagai rencana keseluruhan untuk penyajian bahasa yang sistematis berdasarkan pendekatan yang dipilih. Techniques were the specific activities manifested in the classroom that were consistent with a method and therefore were in harmony with an approach as well. We left within this lexicographic confusion. It's interesting that the terminology of the pedagogical literature in the field appears to be more in line with Antonius' original terms, but with some important additions and refinements. Following is a set of definitions that reflect the current usage and that will be used in this material. The first one is methodology. Pedagogical practices in general, or including theoretical underpinnings and related research. Jadi metodologi yang dimaksud adalah praktik pedagogis secara umum, termasuk landasan teoritis dan penelitian terkait pertimbangan apapun yang terlibat dalam bagaimana mengajar dalam metodologis. The second one is approach. Theoretically well-informed positions and beliefs about the nature of language learning, and the applicability of both to pedagogical settings. Jadi pendekatan adalah posisi dan keyakinan yang terinformasi dengan baik secara teoritis tentang sifat bahasa, sifat pembelajaran bahasa, dan penerapan keduanya dalam pengaturan pedagogis. The third one is curriculum or syllabus. That means design for carrying out a particular language program. Jadi kurikulum atau silabus ini bermakna desain untuk melaksanakan program bahasa tertentu. Fitur termasuk perhatian utama dengan spesifikasi tujuan linguistik dan materi pelajaran, urutan, dan bahan untuk memenuhi kebutuhan kelompok pelajar yang ditunjuk dalam konteks yang telah ditentukan. Akan tetapi, istilah silabus ini biasanya lebih lazim digunakan di Inggris untuk merujuk pada apa yang disebut kurikulum di Amerika Serikat. So the last one is technique, also commonly referred to by another terms. Any of a wide variety of exercises, activities, or tasks used in the language classroom for realizing lesson objectives. Jadi teknik juga biasa disebut dengan istilah lain berbagai macam latihan, kegiatan, atau tugas yang digunakan di kelas bahasa untuk mewujudkan tujuan pelajaran. The next one is changing winds and shifting sands. So Albert Marquardt saw thus changing winds and shifting sands as cyclical pattern in which a new method emerged about every quarter of a century. Each new method broke from the old, but took with it some of the positive aspect of the previous practices. The next content is the grammar translation method. The also called classical method was originally used to teach Latin and Greek during the 18th century and beginning of the 19th century. So it focused on grammatical rules, memorization of vocabulary, declension and conjunction. The last one is translation of text by doing written exercises. This model didn't give time to teaching someone how to speak the language word thought for gaining reading proficiency. The classical method came to be known as grammar translation method in the 19th century. Characteristic classes were taught in the mother tongue. The second one is much vocabulary was taught in the form of list of isolated words. The next one, long elaborated explanations of the intricates of grammar are given. The next is grammar provides the rules for putting words together. Next is reading of difficult classical texts in began early. Little attention is paid to the context of text. The next is often the only drills are exercises in translating disconnected sentences from the target language into the mother language. The last one is little or no attention is given to pronunciation. Okay, let's move to the next content. Why then was the GTM so popular? Tests of grammar rules and translation are easy to construct and can be objectively scored. It requires few specialist skills on the part of teachers. It is sometimes successful in leading a student towards reading knowledge of the second language. The next is it was hoped that through the study of the grammar of the target language, a student will become more familiar with the grammar of their native language. The last one is this method would help students grow intellectually. Okay, another content is going and the series method. Based on his experience as a Latin teacher, he thought the best way to do this would be memorize a German grammar book and the table of its 248 irregular verbs. However, when he went to the academic to test his new language skills, he was disappointed to find out that he couldn't understand anything. Trying again, he similarly memorized the 800 root words of the language, as well as re-memorizing the grammar and verb forms. However, the results were the same. When he returned home, he found that his 3 years old nephew had learned to speak French. He noticed the boy was very curious, and upon his first visit to a mill, he wanted to see everything and be told the name of everything. The next content is the direct method. The direct method of teaching, which is sometimes called the natural method, and is often but not exclusively used in teaching foreign language. Refrains from using the learner's native language and uses only the target language. The basic premise of the direct method that second language learning should be more like first language learning, lots of oral interaction, spontaneous use of the language, no translation between first and second language, and little or no analysis of grammatical rules. Rickards and Rogers summarized the principle of the direct method. The first one is classroom instruction was conducted exclusively in the target language. Only everyday vocabulary and sentences were taught. Oral communication skills. The second one is grammar was taught inductively. New teaching points were taught through modeling and practice. The next one is concrete vocabulary was taught through demonstration, objects, and pictures. The next one is both speech and listening comprehension were taught, and the last one is correct pronunciation and grammar were emphasized. Okay, let's move to the next content, which is the audiolingual method. In the first half of the 20th century, the direct method didn't take hold in the US the way it did in Europe. Moreover, US educational institution had become firmly convinced that reading approach to foreign language was more useful than an oral approach, given the perceived linguistic isolation of the US at the time. So these the characteristics of the alumni be summed up in the following list. So all of you guys can see the list of characteristics in this PPT slide. Okay, I think that's all for me. Thank you very much. Kurang lebihnya mohon dimaafkan. Wassalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh.